Hi, thank you for joining me here on Taya's Sweet Aroma. Today I am going to be sharing with you the recipe for my skillet cornbread. There are a number of different ways and ingredients you can add to a recipe to make up a really good batch of cornbread. Now, when I came up with this recipe a few years back, I knew that I wanted to make it quick, I wanted to make it easy, I wanted it to just scream cornbread, like the ultimate cornbread, and I wanted to make it homemade. And so the reason that I call this my skillet cornbread is because I cook it up in my cast iron skillet. And what I like about cooking it in the cast iron is that it develops a really nice crust, not only on the bottom of the pan, but also along the edges. And so what I've been doing is preheating my oven to 400 degrees. I'm gonna get my cast iron into the oven because I want my skillet to be nice and hot, and that's also gonna help to get those edges nice and crusty, which we will see in just a second. But I'm gonna get this into the oven and then we will go over the ingredients. The ingredients you're gonna need for this recipe is an egg, some vegetable oil, as well as some melted butter. Now, if you just wanted to just use the vegetable oil, you can. I just like the added flavor that the butter gives it, so I use both oils. I have here also some whole milk. The star ingredient, which I think just takes this cornbread to the next level, is some cream style corn. And in this bowl, what I have is some all-purpose flour, yellow cornmeal, granulated sugar, some baking powder, as well as some salt. So now we're gonna go ahead and start getting everything mixed together. And when I say that it's easy to do, you will see that it's very easy to do. So in here I have all my dry ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and give these a whisk until they're well combined. Okay, and the reason I went ahead and mixed up all the dry ingredients first is because once I start adding in the wet ingredients, you don't want to overwork your batter. And it's just like when you're making a cake. There's flour in here. If you overwork those glutens in that flour, you're going to end up with a really tough cornbread. So make sure that you give your dry ingredients a really good whisk, and that way once you add in your wet ingredients, you won't have to overmix it at that stage. So now to this cornbread. It's just all about getting everything in. So I'm gonna add in my creamed corn, add in the milk, the vegetable oil. Now for the egg, get it cracked. And to help with that, I'm gonna lightly beat this egg, just so that, again, I'm not over mixing my batter. So I'm gonna lightly beat my egg, add it on in. And here I have some melted butter, which I'm gonna be using throughout the process. I'm gonna use some now in the batter, put some in the skillet, and then I'm gonna save a little to brush over the top of the cornbread. So I'm gonna add in some to this batter. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give this a whisk just until it all comes together. Again, not overworking the batter. Okay, make sure you're very careful at this stage with the skillet. It is very, very hot. And very quickly, what I'm gonna do, and be careful doing this step as well, it may try to pop up on you. I'm gonna take some more of the oil, add it to the skillet. Then I'm gonna pour on this batter. And you can see the butter kind of creates a really nice edge around the batter, which is gonna help with getting those edges nice and crisp. Just gonna spread it out just a little. Now I'm gonna put this into my oven and allow it to bake, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done. Take a look at this cornbread. It has had a chance to get nice and golden on the top. You can see those beautiful edges, bits of the corn from the cream corn. It smells delicious. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm taking the remaining butter and I'm just gonna go along the sides. It's just gonna absorb this butter flavor in this cornbread. Make it not only beautiful on the top, but give it even more flavor. And that is what you look for when you bake up a delicious cornbread. So we can't cut this right away. If I were to cut this right now, it would just crumble to pieces because it is so moist on the inside. So what I have to do now is allow it to sit in the skillet for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, I will show you what it looks like on the inside. I want to show you now how beautiful this cornbread bakes up in the middle. You can see that it is very, very moist. I want you to take a look at the inside of this. I want you to take a look at the inside of this. The cornbread is nice and moist. You can see the bits of corn running throughout the entire cornbread. This cornbread smells amazing. I'm gonna be serving it up tonight alongside a pot of black-eyed peas. My family's in the middle of another meatless week, but it goes really good alongside so many different things. I'm gonna give it a taste. It's just so light and moist. The texture is kind of like the texture of a cake. And with that sugar, even that cream style corn, it gives it a little sweetness. So it's a really good sweet cornbread. Man, when I think cornbread, this is what I dream about. It's so good. Man, you really get that butter flavor in there. Because remember, we added the butter at the bottom as well as dust at the top. It has a little butter in the batter. But I mean, it really, even though it wasn't very much butter, it just makes it so much more delicious. Then you have a nice little crunch. Get some of this edge. Biting into that gives it a really good texture. You got to give this recipe a try. I think it's one you're going to really love. Serve it along some barbecue. I mean, it goes well with so many different things. Anyhow, I'm going to finish my cornbread, but I thank you for spending time with me here today. I hope to see you again next time. Bye.